I just made over $500 trading V75 today, and in this video I'm going to share you exactly the strategy that I was using to find sniper entries on V75. And the good part is this strategy is not only fit for V75, but you can actually use it on all the other volatility indices that we have. And I'm going to show you exactly how you find trades with this advanced trading strategy. But even beginner traders can also make money out of this strategy. And I'm also going to be giving away free spots in our VIP signals group where you'll be able to trade with me each and every single day. And all you have to do is to like this video, comment down below, and then send me a screenshot to my WhatsApp number showing me you've done all that. Let's head straight to the charts and see exactly how this strategy is able to make me profit whenever I'm trading V75. Okay, as you can see, I've opened up my charts and let's head straight to the strategy. I'm going to start off by breaking down the strategy for you, and then we'll talk about when to buy and when to sell. And then we'll actually do a practical example right here on our charts on V75, and I'm going to show you how you could have made profit using this V75 trading strategy. So this strategy is called the third touch rule. Okay, so I'm just going to call it third touch rule, and I'm going to explain to you what it simply means. For you to understand the strategy, you have to understand trend lines. You have to understand that we have got support trend lines whereby the market will be bouncing while it's going up on that trend line, and we also have what is called a resistant trend line. So you should understand that trend lines are simply diagonal support and resistance, and in our resistance trend line, we have price bouncing off the trend line while it's going down, and on our support we have price bouncing on that trend line while it's going up. So we want to be able to know this point so that we can go up with the market, or this point so that we can go up with the market. And the same is true on our resistant trend line. We want to be able to pick up this point when price bounces off our resistant trend line so that we can sell, and this point and this point and this point. And this third touch rule is going to be able to enable us to be able to find these exact spots. Okay, so here is how this strategy actually works. We're going to need 3 points on the line for you to find a trade. How are you going to do it? The first thing that you're going to need are just 2 points. So let's say we have these 2 points, point 1 and point 2, like that. So this is our point 1, this is our point 2. And if you connect point 1 and 2, we now have a line, but we want it to be a trend line, right? So we're going to extend, and we're going to wait for point 3 somewhere on this line. Okay, so once we have our point 1, price pushed up, came back down to our trend line to give us point 2, and then started to push up again, and it can go for as long as it wants, but the moment it comes back to our trend line, we want to be able to pick up this point and get into a bullish trade, since we've already established that this is a diagonal support, and we anticipate that price will bounce at that line. Okay, same thing is true if we were going down. We can have this point, price pushes down and then comes back to this point and then pushes down. Once we have that, we can actually draw our diagonal our diagonal resistance, okay, which is a trend line. And we are anticipating that the next time price comes back to this line, is going to face resistance at that point, and we should be able to sell that market and push all the way down. Okay, so that is the general idea of the third touch rule. You can see that we have got point 1, point 2, point 3. The same is true if you're going up, point 1, point 2, and point 3. So we're going to be finding these chart patterns right here on our charts, and we're going to see exactly how they work and how you can actually find sniper entry trades when using this strategy. But you're not going to enter just blindly when we get to this point, because we know there are things called breakout. Price can actually go up and even break this chart, or it can even go down here and fail to respect this line. So we want to be careful of that as well, which means that we're going to add some candlestick patterns to our strategy so that whenever we see that candlestick pattern, then we will be sure of whatever we are anticipating of. So candlestick patterns are going to come in to help us with confirmations. Just like, guys, you need 2 or more confirmations on every trade that you want to enter so that you have a high probability of winning that trade. So how are actually going to do that? Okay, so let's say we are in a diagonal support, which is our trend line going up, right? We have our point 1 here where price pushed all the way up, came back down, gave us a point 2, right? And price pushed back up, right? On its way down, let me just extend this line. On its way down, we want to be looking up to the candlestick that is in contact with our trend line, or the candlestick that is going to get in contact with our trend line. What do you mean? As price is pushing down like this, we are going to look for the candlestick that interacts with our trend line, which is our diagonal support. Let's say, for example, we go to this point, and that is the candlestick. That's how the market moves, right? We're going to draw a horizontal line right below the last price of that candlestick, right at the tip of the wick or the body, depending on how that candlestick is. It doesn't matter if it's a bullish candlestick or if it's a bearish candlestick. We're just going to draw a horizontal line right on the last price of that candlestick. And what we're going to do now is we're going to wait for 2 things. Number 1, we want to wait for the subsequent candlestick to see if it forms above or below our horizontal line. If the subsequent candlestick or the next candlestick forms above our line like that, whichever way it forms, whichever type of candlestick it forms, then we will be sure that the market is going to push all the way up like that. So we'll be able to enter into a buy trade just using this third touch rule. But if the candlestick then forms below your horizontal line that you have drawn, then that trade will now be invalid, right? So we're not going to take that trade if the next candlestick after the one that interacts with our trend line, this one, after this one, the next one that forms it, if it forms below or forms and closes below our horizontal line, which is basically a support, right? Remember, this is just a diagonal support. So if you draw a horizontal line, you're actually referring to the price, right? So you can get an exact price, because if it's diagonal, then there's no price which is diagonal, right? So once you have that in mind, it's going to be very easy for you to understand when we get to the charts. So we are simply looking at the subsequent candle. If it forms right above our line like that, then we can take on our buy trade. As simple as that. Same thing is true even if you're going down. You've got your point 1 here, price pushes down, comes back up, right? Then you're able to draw a horizontal line like that. Here is your point 1, here is your point 2. Then price is moving from point 2 and it decides to come back to this. And then we have got a candlestick that forms there, whatever type of candlestick that you see. In this case, we have something like this. What you simply do is you're going to draw a horizontal line right above the last price or the highest price in this case. Then you're going to wait for the subsequent candlestick. Is it going to form above or below? If it forms below like this, then you'll be good to enter into your sell trade. But if the next or the subsequent candlestick forms and closes above like that, then our trade is now invalid, simply because we'll say it would have broken what? Our resistance. This time around, it is a resistance, okay? Because we have a what? A diagonal resistance like that. You can see price was resisting to cross here at point 1, it resisted at point 2, and at point 3 as well. So if you see then a candlestick forming above that horizontal line, then it becomes an invalid trade. Okay? So we're simply going to wait for what? The candlestick, the subsequent candlestick to open and close below. And if it does that like this, then we'll be able to take on our sell trade without any problem, just by using the third touch room. Now, let's get to the actual market, and I'm going to show you areas or entries you would have taken with this strategy. Okay, So this is V75 and we're in our 15-minute time frame. I'm going to show you multiple time frames if we get to 200 likes. So like this video and I'm going to show you more and more about this strategy. There's a lot more you can actually find out. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. First of all, we just need point 1 and 2. In this case, we've got this point 1, right, and this point 2. And what I'll simply do is I'm going to extend my line like that. And as you can see, we had a candlestick that interacted right here, which means that this is point 1, right? And this is point 2. Now we're waiting for point 3, and it happened where? Point 3 happened just right here. Okay, and you can see that we have this candlestick that interacted with our trend line, that was in touch with our trend line, and then the subsequent candlestick again also formed above what? Our horizontal line. So this will be our horizontal line, and you can see that there was no candlestick that formed anywhere below that line, which means that our trade was valid. We were simply going to start off our trade somewhere there, which means that our buy trade was going to start off right at this point and push all the way up, as you can see. So we've got what? Point 1 right here, okay, and you have got point 2. Point 2 is right there, and point 3 is right there, and that's where we actually took our trade, right? And you can see that price pushed all the way up just simply by using this third touch rule. Okay, and once you're done with that, you're not going to throw away your trend line or what? You're actually going to adjust your trend line because it has just been respected, which means that it actually what? It actually works. So what are you going to do? Once you have those points on the line, you're simply going to adjust your point 1 and turn it, your point 3 and turn it to a point 2. So this is point 1, right? Point 1 here. Okay, let me just delete this. Point 1, point 2, point 3. Point 3 has already been respected, so we're going to adjust our charts. We want to adjust our charts, which means that our point, what? Our point 3 becomes point 2. So now we have point 1 here. The next one, point 2, is now this, which is the trade that we just took, right? And now we're waiting for point 3. And you can see that right next to it, we have an interaction right here with our candlestick, right? And what did we say? We say the candlestick that is in contact with our what? With our trend line is where we draw our horizontal line. So in this case, we're going to draw the line there. And then we're going to check for the subsequent candle right there to see if it closes above or below our horizontal line. And you can see it closed above our trend line right there at that point, which means that we're going to be able to take our buy trade right there from this point and push all the way up. This is how you trade trend lines, guys. This is how you trade trend lines, simply by using the third touch rule. Now I want to show you how powerful this strategy is. We're going to scale it up, and you see that it will work in almost every situation that we have. This is advanced trading, remember. That's why you don't see any indicators here. This is advanced trading. This is what we teach in our mentorship class. Okay, so I'm going to show you this last example for a sell trade, and you see how powerful this is. Take a look at this example. We've got a point here, which is our point 1, where our trend line is actually going to start from. Then we now have point 2, as you can see. So we're saying this is point 1. Okay. We're saying this is point 1. And then we are saying this is point 2. Now we want to look for point 3 and we want to see if we're going to be able to sell at point 3. Remember, this is now a diagonal resistance. Okay. So you have to have that in mind. So let's extend this and see what then happened. Let's extend this and see what then happened. You can see all points are right on the line. I'm not cutting any candlesticks. I'm not going through any candlestick. I'm just going at the last price points of every price. And you can see what happened right there. Okay. What happened? When we go to our third touch, which is here, this is the candlestick that interacted with our trend line, and we're going to be able to draw a what? A horizontal line right there on the last price. And then we're going to check to see if the candlestick that is in conduct or if the subsequent candle forms above our horizontal line or below our horizontal line. And you can see that in this case, it formed right below our horizontal line, which means that we're going to be able to take this sell trade. Now, I know a lot of you will say this was a very short trade. Remember, this is V75. It's got a very high peak value. We're in the 15-minute time frame. You're holding for more than 2 hours. That's a lot of money of just going in the right direction, no drawdown. Can you see that from the moment that you would have ended that trade, you would be in profit? And that's how you find sniper entries on V75. Tell me, guys, what you think about this strategy in the comment section. And remember, you can actually join us and trade with us in our VIP seniors group for free on WellTrade. All you have to do is to like this video, comment down below, and then send me a screenshot to my WhatsApp number that will be available in our free Telegram channel. The link is in the description box below. Just click it, it will take you straight to a channel where you'll be able to find my trading results and my contact details as well. And once you send me a screenshot, I'll be able to give you instructions on how you can actually join our VIP signals group. And remember, if you get to 200 likes, I'm going to break down this VIP membership strategy for you right here. I'm going to give you a part 2 on how exactly it works. Until next time.